again. My name is Greg Young, and I'm coming to you live one more time from Davenport, Florida. And this morning, I want to talk about self-control because I believe that a lot of people, lose their self-control in different situations. So the definition of self-control is the ability for oneself to control themselves in particular situations and emotions and difficult situations and stuff. And sometimes in life, we find ourselves in difficult situations. And when we find ourselves in difficult situations in life, a lot of times it's hard to control our self-control to where, we can just walk away. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times when you're in a situation to where it it challenges your self-control, you have to be the person to where you can be the bigger person and you can just walk away and let it go. Because a lot of times when you chose to walk away and let it go, then it leads you to a situation where you were the smartest one. Because the thing is, if if you're allowing your self-control to be challenged by someone to where you get in a situation to where you're arguing with them, then that was a saying that you're basically just as dumb as they are. You're a fool just like them because you're arguing with them, and it's just like two fools arguing with each other. So you have to realize, when you get caught in situations to where it challenges your self-control, you just have to be the bigger person and know how to control those emotions in different situations, in difficult situations, and be able to just, walk away because it's not worth it. You always want to ask yourself when you get in a situation to where it challenges your self-control and you allow yourself to lose your self-control, then you have to look at a lot of things within the aspect. You have to look at number one, you're damaging your character. You know, number two, then you're showing you're showing the people around you, who you really are, and that can damage your character as well. So you have to be the bigger person, even if you're right. And I know a lot of times when you write, and it's hard for you to control your self control, but sometimes it's better off because look at what do you stand to lose. Say for instance, if you're on a job and you're arguing with your boss, even though you're right, you still stand to lose a chance of losing your job because you could be fired for being insubordinate. And you don't want to do that because now you've lost your job and you've taken away, putting food on the table to pay the bills and take care of your family. So you don't want to put yourself in that situation. So the reason why I decided to talk on this topic about self-control because a lot of people have allowed other people to let them damage their self-control and challenge their self-control to where they've gotten out of control, and it has caused them to lose millions of dollars and a lot of things because you got to look at it. If you're a businessman, then you got to conduct yourself as a business person. And if you're a businessman, you can't get caught, arguing with somebody over something that just really didn't make no sense when you could have walked away. Say for instance, you go to a restaurant and you go out to eat, and say in particular you ordered your steak cooked a certain way, and they didn't cook it that way. And then when the waiter comes back, you start arguing with the waiter and say, hey, I didn't want my steak this way. I don't want it, blah, blah, blah. And you just totally lose control. So now you have just allowed yourself to damage your character. And you also damage your pride as well because now people's not going to take pride in you and trust in you. You also damage your trust too because now they're going to say, well, man, how can I trust this person? This person loses control all the time. So this is not the person that I want in my circle. This is not the person that I want to work with. This is not the person that I want to do business with. So you have to look at all those aspects of what you can damage just by losing your self-control, just on something that's simple. You know, it may be like, say for instance, somebody cuts you off on the highway and you get mad and all upset and you just blowing the horn at them, you're blowing the horn at them, and then when they stop, you stop and you cuss them out. And then say for instance, you're on the side of the highway and you're a big businessman, a known businessman to the community, and then say some of the people that admire you pass by and they see you looking and they see you conducting yourself in that kind of way. Now they're gonna lose that admiring that they have for you, and that respect that they have for you has just went out the window because you have shown them who you are as a person. You know, you shown them that you know how to do business and you're a great businessman, but you always got to realize that you always have to keep your self-control at all times, because you don't know who's watching you. You don't know what's going on around you. You don't know, you just never know. And when you allow yourself to lose your self-control, you lose yourself. Number one, you get to the point to where people lose trust in you, people lose respect in you, people stop honoring you, people stop admiring you. And number one, people just stop dealing with you because they look at it like, okay, why do I want to deal with this person and do business with this person when they can't even control themselves? You know, I go to do business with this person and then all of a sudden something don't go their way and then they gonna jump and cuss me out. They don't want to do business with people like that. They want to do business with people that is able to control themselves and conduct themselves in a respectable manner and respect others. So you have to learn that anytime you're caught in a situation to where it can challenge your self-control, it can damage your self-control, it can put your self-control in jeopardy based upon your actions on how you control yourself when you're in those situations. And the best way to control yourself and conduct yourself accordingly to where you won't damage your self-control is to just walk away. You know, and that's one of the hardest things to do, is to walk away when you're right and you know you're right. But then you got to look at, what do I stand to lose? You know, what do I stand to lose and what do I stand to gain? What do I stand to gain if I stay here and argue with this person that's arguing with me, or if I stay here and deal with this person that is disrespecting me? Why should I lose my self-control? I stand to lose a whole lot. And if you're a businessman, or if you're trying to become a businessman and you're trying to build something big and you're trying to become that first generational millionaire, you cannot allow yourself to sink down to their level. You got to be able to just walk away. And I know it's not as easy as I'm saying it is, because I mean, I found myself in situations a lot of times where it was hard for me to walk away, but then I looked at, hey, okay, you're a businessman, Greg. You know, you're trying to get people to follow you and you're trying to get people to believe in you and trust you. So your character and the way you carry yourself and your pride and your dignity and your respect that you have for others goes a long way. And if someone else sees you out of control and you're trying to prove to them that you're a great businessman, then you're not going to be able to prove that, because they're going to see your character as all out of control and a person that can't control themselves and has no control over themselves. So now they're not going to want to do business with me. And that's how things can be damaging. In the same way, when in the 9-to-5 spectrum, say for instance, you know, you're on the job and you're trying to prove to the boss that you're the one that deserves the next promotion that's coming up. In order for you to get that promotion that's coming up, you got to prove to your boss that you have self-control. You can handle difficult situations, because the most challenging time is when your self-control is challenged, is when you're in a difficult situation. And if you can rise above a difficult situation and come out on top, now you know that you have controlled your self-control. But it's all about you and knowing how to control yourself, because that's very important And that's the reason why I decided to talk on this topic this morning, because a lot of people allow what people say and what people do get them out of their character and make them lose their self-control and get them to a point to where they're they act all out, just because of something that somebody said. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you should never let one's opinion of you or what they say about you make you lose your self-control. Because if you do, then you're just as bad off as the person that's talking about you if you charm into it. Say for instance that somebody comes to you and they say, well, hey, Greg, man, so-and-so and so-and-so was talking about you behind your back. I don't have no right to go to that person and be all belligerent and cuss them out for talking about me behind my back. You know what I do? I just say, well, you know what? You talked about me behind my back. I'm just going to let it roll off. And I'm just going to prove to you that I'm not that type of person that you said I was. Because the number one thing in life, when you prove a person wrong, when they say bad things about you and you prove them wrong and you turn out to be way different than what they said that their opinion was of you, then it hurts them worse than you going to them and cursing them out, because now they're the ones that look like a fool because they sat up there and talked about you and didn't know who you was and didn't know who you was as a person. They didn't know you. They just passed judgment against you and did not know you. So you should never let your self-control be damaged by a person that passes judgment against you that doesn't know you. Because how does that bother you? It shouldn't bother you, because number one, you should know who you are yourself. And if you know who you are yourself, then you can control yourself. That's where the self-control comes in within you. And you shouldn't allow what other people say about you get you off of your self-control. And when you're caught in difficult situations, you should be able to rise above those situations and be able to let things go. Because say for instance, if we worried about, if we lost our self-control every time someone was talking about us, we lose our self-control every day. Because I guarantee you there's always somebody somewhere that's talking about the next person, that's putting the next person down, that's saying that this person is a nobody, this person's not worth nothing. If I was you, I wouldn't even trust this person. I wouldn't do this. But you cannot allow someone's opinion of you define who you are. Because as soon as you allow someone's opinion of you define who you are, now you lose that self-control and you can stand to lose everything that you have worked so hard for just by losing that self-control. And you don't never want to allow someone's opinion of you define who you are to where it takes you to a level to where you lose your self-control. And I understand in different situations when people do different things, it's kind of hard for you to walk away. Like when you're caught in a racist situation with somebody, it's kind of hard for you to walk away when they're talking about you and they're calling you this and they're calling you that. But the thing that you have to think about, you have to ask yourself before you react upon what they're talking about based upon the conversation that they're saying about you. This is what you have to ask yourself. What do I have to lose and what do I have to gain? And if you stand to lose more than you have to gain, now it's time to walk away. Because if you walk away from a person that is talking about you, that just makes them matter, because they know that they're not getting to you. But when you charm in and you start to give them feedback about, them talking about you, and then you lose your self-control and you get all mad and hot, and then you jump out of your character and you start talking about them and calling them names just like they're calling you names, you're just a bigger fool as they are. Because that's just like two fools arguing at each other, and you don't never want to be caught in that situation to where you lose your self-control, because when you lose your self-control, you could damage your dignity, you could damage your pride, you could damage the respect that people have for you, you could damage your character. And then once you damage all those things, how do you expect someone to believe in you and do business with you? Or if it's on the flip mode, if you're just living an everyday lifestyle and you just want people to respect you as you go about life, you just may be just a regular person. Regular person ain't striving, trying to do nothing in life or whatever, or just trying to just be accepted in life, being able to fit in. But how do you expect to fit into life when you cannot control yourself? That's the most important thing to being able to fit in, is when you can control yourself. And when you can control yourself and you can conduct yourself accordingly, now people will gravitate towards you. That's a man, you know what, boy, that Greg, man, he's such a nice man. I sat there and watched them talk about Greg like a dog. And they said all kinds of names to Greg and all sorts of things to Greg. And you know what? Greg just looked at that person and turned his head and walked off. Man, Greg has a lot of pride in himself. Man, Greg is the man to trust. Greg is the man I want to do business with, because I know he can control himself. So I know when I do business with him, when the ups and downs and the difficult situations happen under pressure, he's going to be able to control himself under pressure. So I'm not worried about him putting me in jeopardy, to where with me doing business with him, I'm going to lose money. I know I'm going to gain money doing business with Greg, because Greg knows how to control himself. And that's the most important thing. When you're doing business with anybody, you got to know how to control yourself. But now, just on the flip side, it's not about business. It's about everyday lifestyle too, as well. When you're moving about everyday lifestyle, and you're walking around in life and you're dealing with people, you got to know how to control your self-control. Control yourself, no matter what's going on, because the thing is, you look much better when you control yourself than when you charm into somebody's ignorance. Because what I call it, when someone is trying to push somebody's buttons to make them upset, just so they can get a rush, or they just like it when they make people mad, I call those people ignorant. And the reason why I call them ignorant is because they have not been educated to the fact of what they're doing and saying is not smart to do. So the reason why I say they're ignorant, I'm not calling them ignorant as being an ignorant person. I'm just calling them ignorant as not being educated on what they're doing at that particular time, and not knowing how much it's damaging their character and their dignity and their pride and their self-control and their respect, because they don't know, and that's why I say I call them ignorant, because they have never been taught any different. Or if they have been taught different, they didn't listen. So that's why I say self-control is one of the most important things in life. When you go through life, your daily walk of life, you got to know how to control yourself. Because think about this. How can you get yourself to the next level in life, whether it's mentally, physically, financially, whatever the case may be? How can you get yourself to the next level in life, and when you can't control yourself? Who do you think is going to want to be around you and going to want to be able to deal with you when they know you can't control yourself? So that's why, I did this topic, and in my whole week, all of my topics is going to be about self something. You know what I'm saying? And because I want you to know that you need to know how important it is to know how to have self-control within yourself. And then when you have self-control within yourself, you can go a long way in life. You get respected more, you get honored more, and you're more of a type of person. When they see you coming, they be like, man, boy, that Greg, man, he has his stuff together, man. Don't nothing get under his skin. I haven't seen Greg. I've seen people talk to Greg all kinds of ways, and he just look at him and walk away. Man, I wish I could be like Greg, man. Man, I'm gonna try to hang around Greg and see if I can talk to Greg and ask him how do he control himself like that in difficult situations when people treat him so bad. Now, once you get people like that in your life, those are the people that will follow you to the next level in life, no matter what you're doing. And now you can get people to follow you, but nobody's going to follow you when you can't control yourself. So that's why it's very important for you to have self-control no matter what you're doing. If you're going out the door to work this morning, just remember, keep your self-control. Don't let nobody get under your skin. Don't let nobody say nothing or do nothing that's going to upset you. If you're getting up this morning and you're getting ready to go to church and serve God, go in there with a smile on your face. Go in there to praise God for the reason you went for, and lift praises up to him, to the high, to the almighty, to the one is the reason for the season that we're all alive today. And don't let nothing that nobody say or gossip that somebody says about someone else get into your self-control. Always keep a positive mindset and always be able to control yourself, because when you're able to control yourself, you can go a long way in life. People look at you in a different way when you can control yourself. But when you cannot control yourself, people look at you in a totally different way. And the thing is, with self-control, it all comes within you. You have to be able to know what to do when you find yourself in that difficult situation. And you have to be able to ask yourself these two questions. What do I stand to lose? And what do I stand to gain? If you're losing is way much more than what you stand to gain, the best thing for you to do is walk away, even if you're right. Because a lot of times, a wise man always walks away, whether he's right or wrong. Because if you sit there and try to prove your point and you know you're right, but then this person has already lost their self-control, you have just escalated the situation and not de-escalated the situation. So when you lose your self-control, you escalate. But when you don't lose your self-control, you de-escalate a situation, and you always want to be in a situation when it challenges your self-control. You always want to be in a situation where you can de-escalate the situation so it doesn't get no worse. Because I've seen a lot of innocent people are not here today just because someone lost their self-control and did something to them that took their life. All because they lost their self-control, and it could have been something that was bubbling up inside of them that had nothing to do with the person that's not here no more. They could have been upset about something that happened months back, but then they found themselves in a situation to where, they could get what you call payback. So they took that situation and they used it in a way that wasn't wise, and they took somebody's life. And that's all because they lost their self-control. So that's what I'm telling you, how detrimental things can become when you lose your self-control. And that's why it's very important for you to keep your self-control under control at all times, no matter what situation you find yourself in, no matter what situation you're facing. You always want to be able to control yourself, because if you cannot control yourself, who can? You got to be the one to control yourself. And if you want to go to the next level in life, your self-control is a big part of getting you there. Because your self-control, it lets people know how much honor, how much respect, how much pride, how much dignity you have within yourself when you're able to control your self-control. So, like I said, I just wanted to bring that message to you this morning because I felt like so much has been happening around the world. And the reason why things has been happening around the world is because of lack of self-control. If you go back to a lot of things that went on in 2020 last year, a lot of killings that innocent people got killed, got shot, people got killed by police, people got killed by innocent people. But all the things that led to that, people committed suicide. But everything that played the part in that they lost their self-control. That's why those situations happen. And that's why I'm sending this message to you, is to always be able to maintain your self-control, because if you're able to maintain your self-control, you can go far in life. But if you can't control yourself, you're not going to go nowhere in life, because nobody's going to want to deal with you. They're going to say, well, you know what, that guy right there, man, I'm not going to deal with him, because every time I try to talk to him, you know, he always want to make something argumentative, or he always want to argue about me, or he always want to talk about somebody. Nobody wants to be around nobody like that. Nobody wants to be around somebody that doesn't have something good to say about somebody, that's not trying to uplift somebody rather than put them down by talking about them. You know, we need to, instead of talking about somebody, pray about somebody, pray for somebody. You know, don't just talk about them. If you see somebody in a bad situation, hey, go and ask that person, say, hey, is there anything I can do to help you? I know that you're a little irritated about something. Can we pray together? Maybe prayer, maybe that was what they needed, was somebody to come over to them and be concerned, because nobody else was concerned. So you never know when you find people in situations of anger where they're at until you ask. And then the way you ask in a way to where it won't cause them to lose more self-control, to where you end up getting in a worse situation than you was before you approach. In my personal life experience, when I see a person that is in a situation where they may be angry or upset, or I'm dealing with a person that may be angry or upset or belligerent, this is what I do. Well, excuse me, sir, ma'am, I realize that you're not satisfied with whatever's going on, but what can I possibly do to help you make this situation better? I am willing to help you. So what can I do? Just tell me what I can do to make this situation better on whatever angered you or whatever caused you to lose your self-control. And if you go with a person like that, now they start to de-escalate, and they start to think, and they know that you're there to help them, because you haven't lost your self-control, even though their self-control is gone. You cannot lose your self-control because someone else loses theirs, because now you both lost self-control. And like I said, it's just like two fools arguing. And then now nothing's going to get done. And then just say, for instance, somebody that's well known, you know, is watching you. Or say, for instance, somebody that is looking at you, that was on the verge of thinking about doing business with you. You just blew that. Your actions just blew that. Now that person's going to say, man, I ain't going to do no business with Greg. He can't even control himself. It wouldn't be nothing but a total catastrophe. How could he teach me how to do this business when he can't even control himself? So that's one of the major things in life that you should all think about, is learn how to control your self-control, because self-control goes a long way in life. And it's a big word that you need to know the definition of, and you need to know how to control yourself. And like I said, you know, it's the ability to control yourself in particular situations, whether they're emotionally, whether they're physically, whether they're financially, whether they're difficult situations, but you got to have that ability to control yourself. You know, you got to have it. If you don't have the ability to control yourself, self-control, if you have no self-control, then I'm just going to be honest with you, you have no future. You have no future. You can never get to the next level in life if you cannot control yourself. Because once you lose your self-control and you have no self-control over yourself, you lose your pride, you lose your dignity, you lose your respect, you lose your honor, and people lose confidence in you. So you don't want to be in that position if you're trying to take your life to another level in life, higher than where you are right now. The best thing for you to do is to learn how to control yourself and maintain your self-control in all situations you may find yourself in, because that is very important. Now, like I said, you know, I've spoke on it, And I hope that something that I said this morning within how to control yourself and the ideas that I gave you would help you throughout the day. Whatever you're doing, if you're on your way to church, remember, don't let no one damage your self-control. If you're on your way out the door going to work, remember, don't let nothing nobody says or does on that job make you lose your self-control. And if you're just sitting at home and you're working from home doing your own business, just remember, when you interact with people today, no matter what they say or do, don't let them damage your self-control. Don't let them get inside of you and damage your self-control, because once you allow someone to get inside of you and damage your self-control, you might as well, whatever mission you're on trying to accomplish, you might as well give it up because somebody was watching. And then just that one person that was watching, they're gonna spread your attitude like wildfire because they was looking for something to talk about, something to gossip about. And you just made the main gossip column with losing your self-control. So if you're gonna be talked about, make sure what people are saying about you is something good and not something bad because you lost your self-control. Because that's what takes you far in life, and you have to learn that. And it's something that people need to know about in life, is how to control their self-control, to have control over their self. They need to know how to do it. They need to know what it requires to be able to do it. And like I said, that's the reason why I brought this live to you this morning about self-control, because I deep down in my heart, I know that this message is for somebody. I know, because I know there's somebody out there somewhere. If you haven't lost your self-control, you're on the verge of losing your self-control. So I just want to let you know, when you find yourself in difficult situations, learn how to control yourself. Because if you learn how to control yourself, now you have controlled yourself. Now you keep your respect. Now you keep your honor. Now you keep your pride, and people keep their confidence that they have within you. But if you lose your self-control, you might as well say you just lost everything. And like I said, just always remember, when you find yourself in a difficult situation, ask yourself, what do I stand to gain and what do I stand to lose? And if your losing is way much more than what you stand to gain, it's best for you to walk away. If you ask yourself and you're in a difficult situation and you say, hey, I stand to lose the opportunity of becoming the first generational millionaire, I'm walking away because it's not worth me losing all that. I'm not going to do that. Or I stand to lose respect for people that have been respecting me. I'm not going to do that because I want your respect. I want you to respect me. I want you to believe in me. That's the reason why I do these morning inspirations, because I want you to know that no matter what you face in life, no matter what situation it is you're going through, you need to be in control of it. And it starts with your self-control. Because if you can't control yourself, you can't control the situations that you find yourself in a daily life, walk of life, and everything that you go through in life, and the people that you deal with on a daily basis. Because I can tell you right now, everybody in life that you deal with is not going to be nice to you. So you got to be able to know how to deal with somebody, even though they're not nice to you. You got to know how to maintain your self-control and stay nice to them. And that's one of the most important things that you need to learn, is how to control your self-control and how to stay nice to people, and how to be nice and do nice things, even when people are doing you wrong and you know they're doing you wrong. Or even when you right and they just want to argue, just walk away. Just let it go, because it's not worth you losing something big over something small. If that don't let me say that again, because I don't think you got it. It's not worth you losing something big over something small. It's just not worth you doing it. So don't allow yourself to let that happen to you. Because once you allow yourself to let that happen to you, you have just lost out. You have just lost in the game. And once you lose in the game, you never get back in the game to play. You can try to get back in the game to play, but people's not going to trust you. People's not going to believe in you because you don't show them who you really are. And when you lose your self-control, I believe deep down in my heart that you show a person who you really are when you're not able to maintain your self-control. So my message to you this morning is maintain your self-control, believe in yourself, have pride in yourself, take pride in what you do, and also take pride in others' feelings and respect others' feelings, and don't do nothing to damage no one's self-control, and don't let no one else do something to damage your self-control or challenge your self-control. Because when you find yourself in difficult situations, that's the most hardest time for you to be able to control yourself, especially when you know somebody's doing you wrong, when you know somebody's saying something to you that you know you don't deserve. But you got to be the bigger person and walk away. And if you're the bigger person and you walk away, then now you can move to the next level in life. So I just want to thank each and every one of you all for listening to my morning inspiration. And God bless you all. But I just want you to do me a favor, like, comment, and share on this video, because I know that this morning inspiration message that I gave on self-control is something that everybody in the world needs to hear. And it might be somebody out there right now that's on the verge of losing their self-control, and you like, come in and share on this video, and now you have just helped them know how to maintain their self-control within them listening to me. So you have been a blessing to them through me. And that's my mission. I want to be a blessing to others through me and through my experiences that I went through in life and how I've handled certain situations in life to where I don't lose my self-control. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I never have ever lost it in my life. I'm not going to tell you that. But from my experiences and from my growth and who I am today has allowed me how to control myself. Now the old me, that's a different story, but this is a new me. You know, I have created a new me inside of me. So this new me that I have created inside of me is not going to allow nobody to make me lose my self-control, because I'm on a mission to becoming the first generation of millionaire, and I can't become the first generation of millionaire if I can't control myself. So if that makes any sense, then, you know, you should think about it too. And if you're on a mission to accomplish anything in life, you need to remember you can't control yourself. You're not going to reach there either. So once again, like I said, I want to thank each and every one of you all for stopping by my morning inspiration this morning. And God bless you all. Whatever you're headed out to do, God bless you. And I speak blessings and prosperity and growth and success into your life. But the success all starts within yourself. If you can control yourself, you can be as successful as you want to be. I'll say that again because I don't think you got it. If you can control yourself, you can be as successful as you want to be, no matter what you decide to be, no matter what you decide to do. You know, if you decide that, okay, I want to be the best person on this job and become the most respectable person on this job, control yourself. And everybody on that job will respect you. There it is. If you're trying to set on a journey and say, hey, I'm going to build this business no matter what, when you're talking to people, control yourself. When you're conducting conversations with people, control yourself. And always be respectful to people no matter what. You know, you may call somebody up and they might say, no, I'm not interested. Don't call me no more. I don't. Okay, sir, I'm sorry. I appreciate your time and you have a blessed day. That's how you go about it. That's having self-control within yourself. But on the other hand, if you take on the attitude that they have, because you don't know why they gave you that reaction when you called them. It could have been something going on in their life the night before that they're still frustrated about, but you call them, asking them about, you know, an opportunity or whatever you call them for, asking them to take a free gift or whatever the case may be, and they just wasn't feeling it. And by them not feeling it, they lashed out and they said some things, but you didn't lose your self-control. You were still able to conduct yourself in a nice manner and say, hey, okay, I appreciate it. Sorry for your time. I get it. I understand. Have a blessed day. Now, they're going to think in their mind and say, well, dang, why was Greg so nice to me when I was just totally wrong and just totally just said bad things to him? And he was still nice to me. That's because Greg knows how to control himself. And that's the message that Greg is trying to tell you. You know, you cannot let a small situation hold you back from being the person that you deserve to be and get into the level in life to where you want to be. You cannot let something small hold you back from something big. You can't do it, because if you allow something small to hold you back from something big, you'll never get there. You'll never get there. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, as long as you live on this earth, people are gonna challenge your self-control. People are gonna test your self-control, but you got to be able to maintain it. So once again, thank you for stopping by my live this morning, inspiration. And I just want to say to each and every one of you all, like, comment, and share on this video. And don't miss tomorrow, because tomorrow's morning inspiration, I'm gonna tell you right now, I got a topic that's gonna blow your mind. But I'm not gonna tell you what it is. If you want to know what it is, tune in into tomorrow's morning inspiration, and I will bring it to you. And I guarantee you the topic that I have for you is going to help you throughout your daily walks in life. It's going to encourage you to let you know that, hey, you need to keep moving on strong. And the only way you can keep moving on strong is being able to control yourself and do what you need to do. But like I said, I love each and every one of you all. Don't miss my morning inspiration tomorrow morning, because it's going to be epic. I'm here to bless the people, to give encouraging words to the people each and every day as you get up and out of your bed, whether you're going to work, whatever you're doing. I just want you to have a positive mindset as soon as you start to do anything. Because the most important thing is, if you have a positive mindset in any situation you're in, you will be able to come out of that situation with no damage. And what I mean by no damage to your reputation. Because the most important thing is your reputation and the way you carry yourself. And it all starts within your self-control. So with that being said, thank each and every one of you all for stopping by my live today. And God bless you all, and be safe out there. And I love you all. And goodbye.